Boom! What's up and welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today we've got the awesome new X-Men 97 play-at-home kit. As you can see here, it's got Rogue and Gambit, and you get some terrain and a map, and possibly something else. I don't know. I don't even remember what actually comes in this. So without further ado, let's open it up and take a look, shall we? Sliding everything out here, we can see that, yeah, we get the map, the terrain. It looks like we got a one-shot there as well. So we'll take a look at all that in just a moment. But first, I actually want to see what the terrain here is. So let's just plop that out of there. Let's see, you get one little square of blocking terrain, just a little 1x1. We get a little chunk of hindering terrain. Pretty basic stats on those for the most part. We got another chunk of blocking terrain there. And then we have this cool big piece of elevation, which it takes 4 to destroy it, plus 2 damage, giant reach 3, so that's a pretty nice piece of terrain right there. Okay, not bad. That's a nice little selection too if you don't have a lot of terrain. That's a pretty good way to start collecting some. And let's get this map and these cards out of here. Let's see here. First, let's take a quick look at this map. I don't even remember which map comes in this thing. I did watch the Scott Porter unboxing videos, but that was a minute ago. So let's see here. On this one side, we have the X Mansion Indoor-Outdoor. So in case you don't know, because it's not used very often, the yellow lines indicate where it is changing from indoor to outdoor. They don't do that a whole lot anymore, but it's cool to see. I always like when they incorporate that. Pretty solid map. Lots of walls, lots of blocking, lots of hindering. Just very interesting. There's a lot going on. It looks like a destroyed X-Mansion. All right, let's take a look at the other side. The basketball court outdoor. Pretty cool. We got a lot of trees. I like how the trees have blocking in the middle and then just a whole bunch of hindering all around. And then you have the big wide open basketball court with the bleachers there, some elevated terrain. That's, I guess, what that huge chunk of terrain we get is. So that's pretty cool. I like that they incorporated that. That's a pretty nice map. I like both sides of that. Gives you a lot of, different terrain, different kind of maps. Very fun looking maps. All right, now let's pop these figures out here. Rogue and Gambit. All right, let's see what these do. Starting with Rogue, she's got the X-Men team ability, Brotherhood of Mutants, and X-Men keywords, coming in at 85 points. She's got some improved movement to destroy blocking terrain. She's got a trait which gives her a quake, and when she uses it after resolutions, you may move an adjacent friendly character up to 3 squares. That's awesome, and Rogue clears the path is the name of that trait, which makes a lot of sense. She can kind of just charge in there, moving through some blocking terrain, clearing an actual path, and then use quake to blow up a bunch of terrain and, clear even more of a path, maybe hit some people with the actual quake, hopefully, and then you can have somebody move that happens to be adjacent to her. So that's really cool. And then you have special damage power at the back half of her dial that gives her Battle Fury, and when a friendly character takes damage from an opposing effect after resolutions, modify Rogue's combat values by +1 until the end of your next turn. So whenever your friendlies get injured, she gets to get +1 all combat values. Not bad. Overall, pretty decent charge with 10 movement, super strength with 11 attack, 18 impervious, 4 damage. She is a pretty decent little beat stick there. Not bad. And then you have Gambit up next, who has X-Men team ability, X-Men assassin, spy, and vehicle keywords. He starts with a trait that at the beginning of your turn, Gambit may roll a d6 and place the result on his card, removing any other dice on his card. When Gambit attacks, is attacked, or uses super senses, he may remove a die from his card and replace a die in the attack roll or super senses roll with it. So that's pretty nice. You just get to load a die every turn and use it as you see fit if you want to or not. Taking a look at the back of his card, his special move power gives him leap climb and running shot. And when Gambit attacks or is attacked after resolutions, you may place him up to 2 squares away from his current square. Not bad either. Gives him a lot of mobility. And yeah, you got running shot with energy explosion and a 4 range. and then super senses, so he can use that die potentially with his super senses. The only thing that really bothers me with this Gambit is I kind of wish that he was the other sculpt from the set, the one in the white suit, because it's kind of giving that moment where he was like riding the motorcycle around. He even has the vehicle keyword and everything. So yeah, I think that sculpt would have fit this dial better personally. But besides that, 50 points, he's very mobile, and he has die replacement shenanigans, which is really good. So not too bad for 50 points, I would say. And last but not least, here we have a one-shot, Practiced Teamwork. It's a 10-point one-shot, which is kind of a lot. It's one of the more expensive one-shots. And its effect is friendly characters have power. Make an attack using this character's printed combat values. They may be given this power action even after being carried. Now, obviously, anytime you can take an action after being carried, that's pretty nuts. That's pretty game-breaking. It could be very, very powerful. Now, it is kind of balanced by the fact that it is just a regular attack using their printed combat values. So the only real powers you're going to be able to use are like Penetrating Blast, Exploit Weakness, Battle Fury, Precision Strike. Blades technically just triggers off of an attack. You could roll Blades if you wanted to, if it's a close attack with a single target. But you couldn't use something that requires its own action, like Energy Explosion, Pulse Wave, Quake, Flurry, nothing too crazy like that. So just a regular attack, but, you know, there are some really good things you could use, like I said, Precision Strike or something. Technically, Range Combat Expert, Close Combat Expert are always on. You could use those, but since it's using your printed combat values, they're not going to do anything. So yeah, just regular attack with printed combat values. I mean, if you have somebody just like full move with like a really high speed and phasing or something, just carry somebody up that has maybe like giant reach, exploit blades or something. There's some pretty cool combos you could do there. You know, there's some nutty things for sure. I think it's a very good one shot, even though it's 10 points. It's a little expensive, but I think you could definitely make it work for sure. So yeah, I think overall pretty solid little play-at-home kit. Rogue and Gambit are both decent. I wouldn't call them like meta-worthy or anything crazy, but they're definitely some fun dials that would be a lot of fun to play with some of the other stuff in this set. And you do get a really good one-shot. I think this one-shot has a lot of potential if you are a more meta player. I think this could see a lot of play. And, you know, like I said, you get some really good terrain here, a nice little selection of blocking, hindering, and elevated. And the maps are honestly really good, too. I really like the selection of maps here with indoor, outdoor on one of them. And then the more wide open basketball court is a really fun one, too. So overall, a pretty solid play-at-home kit. Not the best one I've ever seen, and certainly not the worst, but a really fun one, especially if you're into the X-Men. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and click the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for the Patreon, where you can see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people, and as little as $1 a month gets you entered into my monthly giveaways. So make sure to check that out if that interests you. But that is going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.